Welcome back to Rearview Diaries. I'm Paul, your driver, your host, and a fellow traveler through these stories. One of the things I discovered after thousands of rides is that backseat of a rideshare isn't just a transportation. It's a confession booth. It's therapist's office, and sometimes it's a place where people finally say things they carried for years. Maybe it's because we're strangers. Maybe because probably will never see me again. Whatever the reason, people often share the most important chapters of their lives during a ride that only lasts for 20 to 30 minutes. Today's story is one of those rides. After a long day, long after I dropped her off at the airport, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had just pulled up in one of Atlanta's nicer hotels. A woman walked up carrying an expensive handbag. She was impeccably dressed, designer's clothes, elegant jewelry, and perfectly put together. She had the confidence of someone who had done well in life. She climbed to the back seat, smiled warmly, and thanked me for picking her up. As we headed towards the airport, we started talking about how unusual rideshare really is. You know, when we're kids, our parents tell us two things: never talk to strangers, and definitely never get into strangers' cars. She laughed. And now here we are, she said, doing exactly both. We both smiled. Then her expression changed. She looked out the window for a moment before quietly saying, "This trip to Atlanta has been pretty emotional." Whenever a passenger says something like that, I know there's a usual story behind it. So I simply ask, "What happened?" She took a deep breath. "I just met my biological family for the first time." She told me she was adopted at birth. Growing up, she always knew she was adopted. But knowing and understanding are two completely different things. For years, she wondered why. Why did her biological mother give her away? Had something terrible happened? Was she too young? Too poor? Did she not want her? Or has she simply forgotten about her? When you don't know the truth, your imagination fills in the blanks. Sometimes with hope, sometimes with pain, sometimes with stories that aren't true at all. Eventually, curiosity became stronger than fear. She hired a private investigator. It wasn't cheap. Months passed. Finally, they found her biological mother. But then came even the harder question. Do you make the call, or do you leave the past alone? She wrestled with that decision for nearly a year. Finally, one afternoon, she dialed a number. Her biological mom answered, and suddenly she couldn't speak. She said almost an entire minute passed in complete silence. Finally, with tears already forming, she whispered, "Hi, my name is..." She told her real name, "And I think you gave me up for adoption." Silence again. Then she heard her mother's voice break. "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you." Her mother began crying. She told her she lived in Atlanta, and if she was willing, she would love to meet her. The week before the trip felt endless. She barely slept. She kept wondering, would they look like? Would they hug? Would it be awkward? Would she finally get the answer she's been searching for her entire life? And finally, the day arrived. They agreed to meet at a restaurant. She said the moment she walked through the doors, she knew there was no question. She looked at their faces and instantly recognized pieces of herself. The eyes, the smile, the expressions. It was looking into a mirror she has never seen before. She kept saying the words, "my biological mother, my biological brother," almost as if repeating those words helped convince herself this was actually happening. There was something else she noticed immediately. Her biological family wasn't wealthy. They were living modestly. Some were struggling financially. Without anyone saying a word, she suddenly understood something. Maybe giving her up had never been rejection. Maybe it has been sacrifice. Her biological mother looked at her with tears streaming down her face and said the words my passenger said she'll never forget. "I prayed every single day that you would have a good life." That was it. The wall she built for 35 years completely collapsed. She burst into tears. Her mother cried. Her siblings cried. And then, just as quickly, everyone started to laugh. The tension disappeared. Hugs became longer. Conversation became easier. Strangers who somehow felt like family. She told them about her life, her adopted parents, her education, her career. She had become a successful attorney. Her biological mother couldn't stop smiling. She kept repeating, "My daughter is a lawyer. My daughter is beautiful. My daughter is smart. Thank you, God." Not once did she express regret. Not once did she ask for anything. She was simply grateful. Grateful that the little girl she prayed for had grown into someone happy. Her siblings shared their own lives. Her brother worked retail. Her sister was studying to become a nurse. She laughed as she told something surprised her. She immediately felt protective of them, like she somehow stepped into a role of a big sister. 35 years late, at dinner, she moved the necklace she was wearing, a beautiful necklace, and she placed it around her mother's neck. Next day, she met her siblings again. They spent the afternoon together. She took them shopping, bought them few things they needed. She said it wasn't about the money, it was about the connection, about making memories, about giving something back. Then she became quiet. She looked out the window for a long minute before saying something that completely changed the story. "For years, I resented my adopted parents." She admitted that she didn't always appreciate them. Sometimes she had been angry, sometimes distant, sometimes ungrateful. But after meeting her biological family, everything suddenly made sense. She realized something she's never fully understood before. Her biological mother gave her life. Her adopted parents gave her a future. One made a painful sacrifice, and the other made a lifelong commitment. Both loved her in just few different ways. And for the first time, she felt overwhelming gratitude, not resentment, not confusion, gratitude. By now, we're pulling into the departure area at the airport. She smiled. She said she'd definitely be coming back to Atlanta. She wanted to keep building relationship with the family she had finally found. She thanked me for listening. She picked up her luggage and disappeared into the terminal. I sat there for a minute before accepting my next ride. Her story stayed with me. Sometimes we spend years looking at our lives through the lens of what we think we lost, only to discover that we've been carrying incredible blessings all along. Family isn't always simple. Love isn't always obvious. And sacrifice, sometimes it looks exactly like abandonment until you finally understand the reason behind it. That ride reminded me that gratitude sometimes arrives decades later. But when it does, it has the power to heal a lifetime of unanswered questions. Thank you for riding along with me today. I hope this story touched your heart. I hope you share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because every day, every passenger that I meet has a story. And every rhyme reminds me that people we pass every day are often carrying chapters we'll never see. I am Paul, and this is Rearview Diaries. Until next time, take care of each other and hope to see you in back of my car. And you never know how a simple conversation could change someone's life. Thank you.